And the upcoming Labor Day holiday not only honors America's workers, but it also marks the traditional start of the presidential campaign season. Mark Mix of the National Right to Work Committee tells OAN that a Biden presidency could end right to work laws in America. One America's Hines has this report.
This is coming up on, this is Labor Day, that's fast approaching here. And I suppose also it's very timely. We have a new Democratic national ticket, Biden-Harris. And I was curious to find out from you, what is the Biden-Harris record on right-to-work issues?
It's not good, and it looks like it's getting worse. Both of the nominees for the Democratic Party have indicated that they support the repeal of all 27 right-to-work laws across the country. And, Jonathan, the right-to-work laws are very simple. We believe that every worker should have the right to join a union, but no one should be compelled as a condition of employment to pay dues or fees. That's all the right-to-work laws do in the 27 states. And both nominee Biden and nominee Harris have indicated, Biden just a couple weeks ago to a Teamsters meeting said we need to repeal all the right-to-work laws. We should stop them from being able to be passed. Senator Harris, on the other hand, when she was campaigning for president, indicated that she thought there was some kind of executive action she could take, which is a little bit scary as well. But the result is the same, reimposing the federal authorization for forced unionism across the entire country.
As we come to this point of the presidential election and the political season beginning, talk about the connection between, I guess, contributions, the political activity of labor unions and their funding, and how that is influential in political elections, particularly with regard to a presidential election that we're going to be seeing here in the next several weeks.
It's interesting, Jonathan, because what happens is the power that union officials have today is a product of legislative activity. Their ability to compel workers to pay union dues or fees was a creation of the 1935 Wagner Act. So now they have to be in the political process in order to maintain this power, whether it be at the federal level here in Congress or at the state level, or frankly, even at the local level. Union officials will spend, based on our studies of previous two-year election cycles, we estimate they'll spend about $2 billion in this political cycle. Now, billions not a big number anymore, Jonathan. As you know, we're talking trillions and in bills that are pending right now in Congress. But billions from a political standpoint, the $2 billion that they report, these
and
are...
this would be mostly for Democrats, I guess.
Well, yes, you draw a correct conclusion. In fact, I think the latest ratio of political spending that's been from the June 30th filings, that between 94 and 100% of all union money has gone to one party. I won't tell you who that is, but you can guess. But so they have to be involved in politics because that's where their power is resident. So that $2 billion that they report, these are from FEC reports, LM2 reports, various reports that union file, that's more than the DNC spends, that's more than the RNC spends, that's more than George Soros spends, Michael Bloomberg spends, the Koch brothers spend. They are a major political player. Interestingly enough, it doesn't always pay off. And the one real interesting story about that money is that about probably 55% of it comes from general treasury money, which is money that can be compelled from workers in 23 states. So the union officials use this money that's compelled from workers to support candidates that union officials sometimes rarely support.
So putting this election into perspective, what do you think is at stake with regard to right to work in light of the Biden-Harris ticket?
I would call this, for the right to work, a survival battle.
A survival battle?
Survival battle. If we get...
Sounds pretty serious.
Yeah, it is. And if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris occupy the White House and the Vice President's mansion, Chuck Schumer runs the Senate, Nancy Pelosi already has the votes. In fact, the House of Representatives back in February passed a bill, the so-called PRO Act, H.R. 2474, that got 224 votes. And one of the first tenets of that particular bill is to repeal all 27 right-to-work laws. So the House has proven they have the votes to repeal all right-to-work laws. The Senate, if they do away with the filibuster and simply need 50 votes plus the vice president, perhaps, and then you have a president who is committing on the campaign trail now, even after the primary. Usually that's primary talk. They have to get to far to the left, and then when the primary is over, they come back and say, well, you know, we need to temper this a little bit. But Joe Biden's out there on the campaign trail talking about repealing right to work. So for us at Right to Work, and for the workers across the country who have enjoyed the protections of the right to work laws in the 27 states that have them, it's a survival battle.
Hey,